1925 AJS, owned originally by Mr. Moneycurl, who was one of 3 sons who lived at Wetham Bottom House on the road between Bromham and Calne in Wiltshire, England. This was in 1958 when I bought this bike. £5 was the purchase price. Had a great big hole in the petrol tank. It was in a barn that didn't have a roof. Also in the barn was a Rolls Royce. You can imagine both their conditions. The AJS had been left there since 1939. It was last on the road in 39. Anyhow, I purchased it for £5, half a week's wages then. It cost £1.50 to bring it home in an A40 pickup truck owned by Mr. Jeff Wordley, since passed on unfortunately. We tried to get it renovated as best as we could at that time. Renovation wasn't really on the cards at all. The vintage motorcycle movement was very small, and I remember 1311, there's 15,000 now, but this was the early days and it was a very small membership, and renovation of these old bikes weren't much thought of. Anyhow, I had the nickel plating done professionally, cleaned off what I could. I painted with, the black paint is Brush and Belco, which is a cellulose paint you could buy in Woolworths for £1 a tin. So I painted it up. Mr. Simons, who's sadly long since died, he put the lines on the tank and put the AJS moffat on the tank as well. Couldn't get no transfers at that time for AJS, so what the old transfer we had, he managed to stick together and put on the tank, and it's still there now today. The engine, 350 AJS side valve, maximum speed, and this is the real maximum speed. On a good day, wind blowing behind you, you might get 60 miles an hour, but the bike only weighs £200, so it was quite quick. 1925, 200 weight, £200 weight for the motorcycle. It was quite quick for its day. Its predecessors have won the TT, but that was the overhead valve. Here you see the hand gear change. It's in neutral at the moment. Pull up for 1, push down for 2, and finally push right down for 3. We'll follow the lever down to where it goes in here to the gearbox. It's just got a single plate clutch. This is the adjuster, and then also I told you this is a side valve engine. Here is the side valves. This is what I'll kick on the Kickstarter and you'll see it work. It's on compression now. Right, there we are. There's the valves going up and down. Having said that, as I say, in the early days I'd done 10,000 miles. It was at times my only transport I had because my 650 aerial was broke down at the time. The rest of the bike has got settling lighting on. You can see the headlight. It's got a bulb horn. You can see that. None of this has been polished because this is a quick talk about of this particular bike. This is the settling generator. This makes the gas for the lights. It gives a reasonable light, 1 telegraph pole distance, which is 60 yards, so that's pretty good light for 1925. But you put calcium carbide in here, that has got a water drip on it, and that produces a gas. The tube runs underneath the tank all the way through, up here and underneath the headlight. There, and the same, there's a T-piece here in the top of the tube, and the back tube runs through the back and onto the back light. The petrol tank oil compartment at the front, oil pump there. We also have a secondary pump on the side of the engine, which is Pilgrim. This, you press the plunger down, and this gives you enough oil for 5 to 7 miles. Petrol tank here, petrol tank cap here, gallon and 3/4 in there, 3 pints of oil in the front. That would take you about 50 miles. The petrol tank had a massive hole in it. Our tinsmith at work, that was where I used to work then, at Avon Rubber in Melksham in Wiltshire, who's got a good name for making motorcycle and car tyres. I worked there from 58 to 88, so I had 30 years there and called it a day. But our tinsmith, Mr. Ron Watkins, he put sheet tin steel all over the tank and soldered it in, and it took £5 of solder and many man hours. So I've been eternally grateful for him, because it's lasted 40 or 50 years and it only drips occasionally, so at this moment in time not a worrying prospect. We have girder forks, 6-inch front wheel brake, quite a good brake, 6-inch, for the period, quite a good brake. You have to bear in mind, today, modern traffic conditions, not good at all. Engine performance not good for today, braking not good for today, but for the period, very good. This company had a history of winning the TT 21, 22, 23. About that period they had a marvellous history on winning with bikes similar to this but with overhead valve motors. This is AJS pattern handlebars, what they call semi-sports touring handlebars. The real touring handlebars come farther round, and instead of having footrest rubbers you had foot boards. But this is a sports bike, lightweight mudguards, semi-sports handlebars, semi-dropped. On the right hand side, front brake lever, throttle, air, okay, close to start, fully open to run. That allowed you to be able to catch hold your throttle lever with your thumb and control the bike. So that's on the right hand side. Andre steering damper here, always slightly screwed down, but if you were in a real hurry, make sure that it is screwed down, because if you get a tank slapper you might have problems. On this side is a magneto control, which is auto advance, so you can there, and the AJS clutch lever is different to everybody else's, as it's got its own shape. A great big, it's only a single plate clutch kept in there. When I say single plate, one plate with corks, nothing else, no oil, nothing, but single plate clutch. And on this side, this would be the valve lifter, once again to break the compression. When you kicked it over, once it was over compression, let it go and it'll be alright. Should have handlebar grips. These have now been on a long time and are looking the worse for wear. This bike had a Kickstarter. I'll show you it in operation slowly. On the right hand side is the lever. On this side you see this half radius with teeth on that matches up with the teeth here. So we press down on the kickstart lever and we have that effect. I'm coming through compression now. There we are, we're through compression, and that's how you kick the bike over. Now that's the first time it's been kicked over this month. I normally kick these over once a month, put a little drop of oil in the cylinder, kick them over, keep them free. So there we are. So that's the kickstart mechanism. In later years, kickstart mechanisms were completely enclosed. But all you have to do on this side is take out a cotter pin, slide this out, and you can change it all in a half an hour. It was quick, it was very easy, and it was meant for the amateur motorcyclist, because think of it, 1925, not much education about to have a motorbike like this and to have £40. Mine, where it come from, was a big house. They had, I would think, quite a lot of money. This is the original saddle that was on the bike. It's made of a Rexine kind of material. It was showing its age then, it's certainly showing its age now. Having said that, I've done 10,000 miles with this bike. The toolboxes, leather fronted, they're obviously showing their age. I didn't get them recovered because in 1958 this bike cost me £40 to restore, and it was over 4 weeks' wages total. Consequently, it was a big drop in our money. We had just bought a house for 2,600. The mortgage was £14 a month, and I'm on 4 shillings an hour. So really, motorcycles should have been out of the business in them days, but my wife was very understanding. So I built the bike up as cheap as I could, brushing Belco, shilling a tin, 3 tins, 3 shillings for the paint. Mr. Simons had a packet of fags for doing the lining. Mr. Watkins had a packet of fags for doing the solder work on the tank. All good friends. Having said that, we got the bike on the road, and as I say, I've done 10,000 miles, but here it is today, and it should now be having a new lease of life. Really, these boxes want recovering.